welcome into the offseason. I'm Cassie Carlson here at Hallis Hall as we just wrapped up mandatory minicamp, and I am joined this week by the Athletics' Adam Jahns. He is also the host of Hogue and Jahns, and 3 days of the Bears on the grass running through practice. What were your takeaways from 3 days practice?
Details, a lot of details.
And inside the details.
Yes, inside the details, beyond the details, everything's about the details. They're yelling about the details, they're talking about the details. I think details, we've said about a dozen times already in this show. I think I've heard it 50 times this week. Ben Johnson's obsession about the details is taking hold of Hallis Hall. I think that's the story. Cole Kmet talked about it. Caleb Williams talked about it last week. It's really everything right now. He's obsessed with getting things right. If you get it wrong, he's going to correct you right away in the field. He's going to yell at you. He'll get on you. There may be some swear words in there, but I think it's good for the Bears right now.
How many years have you been covering the Bears? How many coaches have you seen?
Oh, how much time do we have? Since 2012, Lovie Smith's last year with the Bears.
Okay. Have you noticed a difference in the obsession with the details and the way they addressed it on the practice field, specifically with Ben Johnson?
I want to say the instantaneousness part. Is that even a word? How instantaneous it is.
They call it dead.
Dead, yes. Immediately as it happens, it's Cole Kmet during OTAs lined up and like a yard off inside the Walter Payton Center, and he's screaming at him, huddle back up, get it right. He wants to get him the ball out in the right flat. That is different. We've seen coaches do different things at different times here, going from Lovie Smith to Mark Trestman, Matt Nagy, John Fox. I think I got everybody in there. Thomas Brown counts too. So there's a lot of coaches. Some of them are sitting on couches right now. But there's been so many changes. But I can't remember a time where you saw a coach abruptly stop practice with a swear word or two, rehuddle the offense with a young quarterback to get it right. I don't think we've covered anything. I haven't covered anything like this before.
How do you think it translates to Caleb Williams? Because there was an interaction in a press conference where Ben Johnson was asked about a throw that Caleb Williams missed, and he said he was late on the throw, and then he was asked how did he respond when you told him about it. He was like, great, awesome. Like, how do you think that relationship is molding, if you were to guess?
Oh, he's going to be challenged. Now, Caleb Williams, he's on record saying that he wants to be coach started. Yes, yeah. You better be careful what you ask for. So we'll see exactly how hard he wants to be coached. I think this will be a great test for him because Ben Johnson is going to be on that case. Like, if you're just talking about that play specifically, that was a completion to Roschon Johnson in the left flat that went for a first down. But as that play is happening, you have your head coach standing 10, 12 yards behind you screaming, faster, faster. And he wasn't fast enough for his coach on that play. Maybe Roschon Johnson, if Caleb Williams is faster, that's a 20-yard gain instead of a 10, 12-yard gain and a first down. Still a positive play, but Ben Johnson thinks it could be better. We'll see how Caleb Williams responds to this because I think this is going to be a story throughout training camp. Fans are going to be here. You're going to be able to see Caleb Williams getting yelled at.
Yeah, I think that's always interesting to see. Like, I first noticed it with Eric Bieniemy. Like, he wasn't gonna mince his words because the cameras were right in front of him. He's like, I'm gonna be who I am. And I get the sense that Ben Johnson, like, nothing's gonna falter how he coaches, whether it's fans out there, whether even if it's maybe Caleb Williams not loving the way he's being coached. Like, that is Ben Johnson's style, and that's kind of what the Bears signed up for when they hired him. Like, I don't think he's changing who he is to cater to that.
He shouldn't change. He shouldn't be afraid about the when the questions come up about it, he shouldn't change because it's part of the conversation now. It's what got him here. If you talk to a lot of people in his background, he's always been that fiery person on the field, just very engaged, very competitive, very relentless in how he wants things done. Don't change. You've become the Bears head coach because of these traits, because you're so relentless and so detail-oriented during practice. This is what got you here. Don't change just because you got the spotlight and people are talking about you more than ever.
It seems like he handled the situation with Cole Kmet extremely well. Cole Kmet admitted he was taken aback when the Bears drafted Colston Loveland. Then he said Ben Johnson called him and kind of told him why and how they could fit and complement each other. And also, as Cole Kmet said, his goal is now to become the best 12 tandem in the league. What were your impressions of we know Cole Kmet's a mature guy, but the way that he approached and handled and also told his side of the story?
Yeah, the numbers say that there's a role for two tight ends in Ben Johnson's offense. If you look at what he did in Detroit, he used that 12 personnel a lot. But his second tight end wasn't as good as Cole Kmet. I'm not even sure he's the second tight end right now because we haven't seen Colston Loveland. But good for Cole for taking this on for what it is. It's not easy having a top 10 pick enter your position room where you've been the guy for 3-4 years and you've already gotten that second contract. This is your city. You're from here. This is not an easy situation for him. But I think he's being the leader the Bears hoped he'd be. He's being the professional that he should be at this point in his career, and I think he's just handling it like the veteran that he is. Is it going to be easy? I don't know. I think some targets will go to Colston Loveland. I think some plays will go elsewhere just because of how Ben Johnson wants to spread the ball around. But I think through that conversation, I think Ben Johnson made it very clear that Cole Kmet still has a home in the Chicago Bears.
From gathering things from different players about what DA's defense is going to be, Montez Sweat called it complex. What are you picking up on what we might see from this defensive unit?
Can we just start with the persona a little bit? Because Ben Johnson gets all the credit for the swear words. Dennis Allen's out there swearing a lot too.
In a visor.
Yes, in a visor. You know, he's got his chest puffed out. Like, he's direct. He is correcting the details instantly, you know, when mistakes are happening on the field. So that's good to see. He's fiery. He's energetic. He's in their faces, veteran players' faces, for making mistakes. That's good to see. I think just overall, adding Dennis Allen takes so much off the plate of Ben Johnson, where you have this first-time head coach who's got to build an offense around a young quarterback with so many different weapons, with a brand new offensive line, with 5 new starters, really, if you want to sum it all up. So there's a lot for Ben Johnson to get used to in his job, apart from building the offense. Dennis Allen takes so much off his plate, just like Vic Fangio did for Matt Nagy in 2018. We saw how that worked out. You know, Vic actually went on to become the head coach of the Broncos. So I don't know if Dennis Allen's going to get his third opportunity, but I think he's here to help Ben Johnson in so many ways, just beyond building that good defense. He could give him so much advice in how to run a team, be the front man in front of the team, how to handle the media, you know, what not to do with your scheduling. Dennis Allen provides so many resources beyond just the defensive strategy, I think, for this team right now.
When it comes to the offensive line, everyone's still going to look at the left tackle position. Is Braxton Jones going to be healthy? And if he is he the starter come week 1? We see Azie Chapillo, we see Karan Amagaji taking turns. And I like how Ben Johnson, pretty like black and white, like lays it out there. Like the best pass rush protector is going to win the job at left tackle. When you think about who they have available in all the different scenarios, what's your prediction for who wins that job?
Like right now, since we haven't seen Braxton Jones, I want to say that maybe Azie Chapillo might have the inside track on this, even though they're rotating every single day, him and Karan Amagaji. He's a second-round pick, and he was drafted by Ben Johnson. The others just weren't. That's a hard reality of the NFL. When you're a draft pick of a certain coaching staff, your standing's a bit different. But for me, like, I'm circling those 2 joint practices against the Dolphins and the Bills, right? They're coming to town. And then the first day of pads. Like, those are 3 big days for Azie Chapillo. Can he handle Montez Sweat? Can he handle the best Bills pass rushers? Can he handle the best Dolphins pass rushers in one-on-one situations? Because that's what the Bears want to see. That's how the Bears are going to test them. And I think that's how the left tackle position, I think that's how that competition is going to unfold, how it's going to be determined.
All right. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers is back in the news.
I heard.
Because this just happened today. So he'll make his return to Soldier Field. What's your reaction to Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers? This is what we're going to end on.
I just feel like, let's use a Marvel reference with Thanos, right?
I'm not a Marvel person, so this is terrible to ask me.
Okay. Well,
other people will understand.
He's inevitable in a sense, because you knew he was going to be a storyline. You knew he was going to come back. He does his own thing, you know, he marches to his own beat, all that stuff. But you know he was going to come back, and the only team left for him was the Steelers. So here he is. I'm not sure how good he really is, you know, what his health is, how much he's really engaged in you know, being that full-time quarterback. You know, there's a lot that goes into it, and he's on the latter stages of his career. But sad but true, but he's still like better than half the quarterbacks in the league, and that's why he's with the Steelers. You know, as they move on from a former Bears quarterback to go to him.
Well, let's hope he doesn't come back to Soldier Field and do the whole "I own Chicago" thing once again and break Bears fans' hearts. Adam, Jahns, I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Cassie.
So, Gervon Dexter, first I want to ask how you spend your off season. Ever since the season ends in January, what do those first couple months look like?
The first couple months is taking some time to recover, kind of get my body right, spend a little time with my kids, and just taking some time off, you know what I mean, and then again almost get right back to it. So
yeah, how do you like listen to your body and know when's the right time to be like, all right, it's time to get back in football shape, knowing that you have a new head coach coming in?
Right. I mean, obviously this like the circumstance that we're in now is a little different because we, like you said, we got a new coaching staff. So I think this year is going to be a little more. We got a little more time. We get off a little earlier than we usually do. But so I think I'll just like you say, I'll listen to my body. I'm the type of guy that I don't like, sitting around at all. So I'll always be doing something football related, even if if it's like just sitting there stretching or something like that. It'll always be something football related. So.
You were named multiple times by your teammates as a leader because you were the guy that texted everyone and got them down to Florida to start working out. And to hear that from someone like Grady Jarrett, I think we're all like, it was like a pleasant surprise to hear that you were the one to organize that. What was the genesis of trying to bring everyone together and go and work out together?
I think obviously, like, as I've been in the league so far, going on year 3, I've noticed that guys who kind of rush together outside of, the facility, guys who hang out outside of the facility, those guys like on the field rushing together is it's a second nature. So just being able to kind of, after Grady signed here, after saying that he was coming here, just trying to get the guys together early and hang out, just know the guy, learn the guy before you get in the building where we obviously now learning plays and bullets are flying, just try to get some of that stuff before we get in hand, just to hang out together as well. Was
that something you learned from being in the Bears locker room, or just kind of studying maybe other teams and talking to guys around the league?
Yeah, I would say a little bit of both. Just like watching and then watching how guys rush, just like seeing other teams where it's like there's no way these guys don't hang out outside of, so after seeing that and then feeling that, and then like even for me, I looked at it as like seeing Grady Jarrett, like I want to get some of that knowledge right away, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to wait till two more weeks to OTA start. I wanted to get some of that knowledge right away, so a little bit of that as well.
So what's the knowledge you instantly asked Grady Jarrett for?
Man, I'm still asking, honestly, but
great resource.
You're right, 100%. Just some of the stuff Grady has hit every goal that I have on my list so far, and he's still knocking them off as well. But just to see. Just to have a guy like that, not only in the locker room, but right beside me.
Come on in.
What you got for me, Reek? What you got?
You got to ask a question. It's not on, so you got to speak up. But yeah, just.
Tyrique Stevenson here. How y'all doing today?
No, it needs no introduction, right?
Right.
I just wanted to give Dex the platform to let y'all know what's going on this year with the Big 9-9.
Yeah, like Reek said, man, the rush and the coverage is married. So as long as we get the rush in, I know Reek could be covering picks, sacks, all of that gonna come with it. So.
And I'm throwing the pitch back. Gotta let him do the front flip in the end.
Come on, now.
Wait, come back. Oh no, now he's breaking stuff. You gotta ask a question in return.
Okay, here you go.
Year 3, man. We came in together,
yeah.
Right? We had ups, downs, lots of fun stuff, lots of picks, lots of sacks. Give me 1 or 2 goals for this year. For Tyrique.
For Tyrique, I want to be the best teammate I can. I feel like with these group of guys, we understand the plan and we expect nothing but the utmost from everybody. So I feel like I got to hold my end on that. And then as far as I want to be the interception leader. Like he said, coverage and rush is married, and I know he gonna rush, so I know I gotta cover.
Didn't Jalen Johnson? He put out a number for himself. He said like 7 interceptions. So
7 plus. Always shit. I'm aiming for 7.
Okay. Then.
Okay. It's inked. We love that. All right, we got future broadcasters, right? Hopefully in like many years, right? You're gonna be in the league for a long time.
Right.
Grady Jarrett could also be a broadcaster. He's very he's very entertaining and like very interesting to listen to.
100%.
What have been some of your favorite stories that you've heard from him?
I think with Grady is like I said, he's seen everything, obviously through experience, but him being like, we play the same position, we both play D tackle, so I think like he just like, Grady is one of those guys like even in practice, it's only practice right now, it was like before the snap, Grady already knows where the slide's going, Grady knows where the protection's, like he knows all that stuff, so to play with a guy that he's not guessing. He knows through experience. He knows through. So I can't wait. Yeah. I can go on and on.
Yeah, that's great. Montez Sweat made a comment that this defense, Tyrique Stevenson, is even bringing us water.
Man,
what a gentleman. All
He
right.
owned it,
Teammate. We love it.
That's what we want.
It's noted. What was it? No, I'm like, there's a million things going on. Montez Sweat said this defense is more complex than it was with the past staff that was here. Do you feel that way? How do you, as you're learning this, I don't want to say compare it, but he made it seem like it's just maybe harder for offenses to read. But
it is, yeah. So it's a variety of different things. It's not just like it's not simple at all. Like it's not like I think Coach Da he switches it up a lot. Like he's gonna throw different things at obviously the offense that they think they've seen, and it's not what they thought. So it's definitely a lot different. And what comes with that is it's a tad bit harder to learn. But after you get it, after you know the exact reason why you're doing something, it'll be.
So is that something that you feel like maybe the defense fell short in last year? Like it was maybe too predictable?
I wouldn't say that all the way. I just think with DA's defense, it's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different bullets flying from everywhere, so it's different.
Okay. The sack production, I know you were really happy with what you had produced in the beginning of the season. Now in your third year, what have you learned about what it takes to have that consistency over the season?
Yeah, you just gotta stay consistent.
Is that easier said than done, though?
It is, yeah. It is. I think for a guy like me, now in year 3, I've played enough ball to understand what it takes and to just do it. Stop talking about it and just doing it. And so that's actually one of my goals for the year. Just stay consistent. Don't get complacent. And there's always, there's always room for improvement no matter where you're at. I don't care if it was week 5 and I had 10 sacks. Now I go get 20. So I think that's really the goal for me is just don't get complacent and stay consistent.
Tyrique put a number on interceptions. Do you want to put a number on sacks?
I'm not gonna put a number.
I'm
not gonna put a number. I just want to do better than I did last year.
Yeah,
so, for sure.
There was a photo of you walking into, I think, like day 1 of offseason, and people were like, "Did Gervon Dexter get even like leaner and stronger?"
Right.
And did I hear you say not necessarily? It was just like a good angle of a photo.
So,
if we could all be so lucky.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think people was like, oh, he's just like slimmed down to play like defensive end or something. I think, have you ever like just walked and you like turn in your shoulders and they kind of just caught like that turn?
It's like the supermodel.
Yeah,
turn.
Exactly. Yeah, they just like caught me turning and people kind of took it and ran with it.
All right, I was talking to you towards the end of last season. You were excited to go back down home to Florida, and you mentioned in this interview that you don't like sitting still, you're always busy. So you were looking for off-season hobbies. Right. You had not found one when you were on the draft show. Have you found one yet?
I have. So I picked up on, I think we talked about already, was like just like ATVing. Obviously, I got my helmet on and my my stuff on. But as well as me and my wife started like pickleball. Yeah, so I picked up on pickleball. It's actually
about the rules, the kitchen? Can't step in the kitchen?
Can't step in the kitchen, yeah. I learned, the way we play right now, beginners, we just hitting it back and forth, obviously. But yeah, I picked up on pickleball. So
I think I heard, I can't remember if it was an offensive lineman. Was it Tooney or Drew Dahlman? They also play pickleball.
Really?
You can get a little O-line, D-line going.
Some ones, for sure. If y'all see this, you got to run the one.
Gervon Dexter, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We are joined now by rookie Azie Chapillo. You just are finishing up your first offseason in the NFL. So what's it been like from a rookie perspective?
Yeah, it's been really great. A lot kind of thrown at you between meeting all the guys, the playbook, going out there practicing. But it's been a really, really awesome experience. I think getting to sort of see what the NFL is like. It's, this isn't full padded by any means, but it's a good taste of what's to come.
Everyone was really impressed when you stepped up to the podium one of your first weeks and you were like, in college, I actually practiced on the left side too, just to make sure I was prepared for whatever would possibly come your way. Yeah. Now you're rotating with the ones at left tackle, and Ben Johnson really touted your mental toughness and being able to kind of consume everything. What do you feel like prepared you the most to be able to handle that workload so early on?
Yeah, I think, the coaches at BC did a great job. Coach Applebaum, my old O-line coach, he really did a good job playbook-wise with the entire O-line, putting a lot of emphasis on, the minor details and making sure that we're really keyed in, because a lot of that translates to to the NFL. And then the coaches here have also done a great job installing it all. It's not like they're just throwing it all at you. They sit down, they teach it. Any questions get answered. So I think just overall, it's been taught to me very well. So it's easy to learn.
What stands out about Dan Rochar as a coach and the way he teaches?
Yeah, he's a really great coach. He's demanding in a way that you want a coach to be. He's not just going to scream your head off for no reason. He's demanding, and he wants to get you better. That's the job of a coach, to bring out the best in his players. So he's really, you can see it every day. He puts everything out there. He does his part to make this team better, and it's our job to follow suit.
Anyone you've gravitated towards in that O-line room? I'm sure you've maybe looked over a few times and been like, dang, that's Joe Thuney standing next to me.
Yeah, to be honest, all the guys are awesome. I don't know if it's just an O-line thing, but every O-line room I've ever been in, everyone's awesome. So it's really a great room of guys, great group, great leaders, guys that have experience in this league for a long time, like Joe Thuney. And yeah, they're all willing to help. They'll go that extra mile to make sure that you're in the right spot.
All right, I heard a really cool story. Your dad, Steve Chapillo, played at Boston College like you, an offensive lineman, and it was Tom Waddle, former Bears receiver, who also played at BC. He's like, you got to ask Ozzy about his dad holding up Doug Flutie in an iconic photo after the Doug Flutie game. What have you learned about, your dad playing at BC? And I'm sure you've heard stories about that game in particular.
Oh yeah, they call it the miracle in Miami. So, I've seen clips of it countless times. But Hail Mary gets thrown end of the game, they catch it, and he grabs Doug Flutie, lifts him up, and that's kind of the iconic photo. So yeah, in terms of things that I've learned, I guess, create a legacy and. The way that they did, that team especially, I think that team was, it made its mark. That's something that's still talked about today. So any chance that I get to do that, I'm going to do my best to do the same. So.
Ben Johnson said that training camp is not a get-in-shape camp, it's a show-up-in-shape camp. Has he shared that with you guys in team meetings?
He has, yes.
So over the next month and a half or so, what have you learned that you need to go attack to make sure you're prepped for your first training camp?
Yeah, you can't take time off. A day or two, whatever, but you can't just go home and sit around for a couple weeks. You need to go home and continue to get better, basically. The same stuff we're doing here, you can't just go and stop playing football. You got to keep working on your technique, keep working out, make sure you stay in shape so that we don't show up and it takes a few days for everyone to sort of pick up the slack that they left during the break. We want to hit the ground running.
Ben Johnson seems very black and white, in what his expectations are for each player, each position. And he said when it comes to left tackle, basically whoever's going to win the job is going to be the best pass protector. How do you hearing it laid out for you pretty plain and simple from your head coach that if I'm going to win this job, this is what it's going to take?
Yeah, that's the main goal. So every rep that I get at practice, just going to go out there and do the best I can in the off season, especially in these coming weeks. Make sure I keep continuing to get better. And yeah, just try to help the team in the best way that I can.
You're in a position where when the pads come on, that's when your time will really come in training camp. So who are you most looking forward to lining up against on that D-line?
Yeah, I think everyone. I want to single anyone out. I know. But again, the pads haven't been on these last few weeks, so when they come on, I'm just excited to experience the NFL and what that full speed is like.
Anyone already chirping at you?
Yeah, there's always no one in specific. I'm just O-line, D-line. There's always something going on in a good way.
All right. Good stuff. Azie Chapillo, I appreciate your time. That's it for this week on The Offseason. Make sure to check out our full shows and extended interviews on Fox Local or our YouTube page. The Offseason is now available on Spotify, Odyssey, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.